Alrighty, so apparently some people shouldn't be allowed to vote. Or at least that's what Matt Walsh is trying to say. We got to talk about that, because I think we might disagree on the types of people who shouldn't be allowed to vote. But, you know, I live in a democracy and he wants to live in a theocratic fascist state, so maybe we're just a little different. Maybe we're built different. Let's go ahead and see here, Matt. Come on, buddy. Let's see what you got to say.
These people should not be allowed to vote. I mean, you hear people say that in a half-joking way. Oh, I can't believe these people can vote. But really, they shouldn't be able to. Like, actually, they should not be able to vote. That should be something that that becomes a serious topic of conversation. Okay, like the kind of thing that comes up at presidential debates. Okay, like an issue that political parties have to deal with in their platforms. We should really be talking about this. That there are a lot of people who are voting in this country who should not have that right.
So I wonder what type of person Matt Walsh would say shouldn't have the right to vote, or why they shouldn't have the right to vote. Like, what kind of individuals would you think? I just want to know in the comment section below. What type of people do you think should not be allowed to vote, and why? I'm of the opinion that living in a democracy, living in anything where you have rules that are voted for democratically in any way, shape, or form, means that everybody should be able to vote. And yes, that even means people who are going to vote in a way that you don't like. They should be allowed to vote as well. Because if you're going to be influenced by, controlled by certain laws, then in my opinion, you should be able to have a say in those laws. Just saying.
They don't deserve it. And as I've tried to explain many times, the right to vote, it is not a God-given right guaranteed to everybody regardless of anything.
But how would you know that? Did you take the time to talk to God yourself, Matt? Did you do that? Did you sit down with Jesus Christ and just be like, "Sir, when you invented democracy in the Bible, did you give people the right to vote unequivocally? Are we all created equal, or are some more equal than others?" Did you do that, Matt? 'Cause I don't think you did.
It's not. Okay, it's not fundamental to your human nature that you automatically are entitled to have a say over the political system in your country. It's not. There are some basic guidelines that should be in place. You should have to earn that right. Not everybody should have it. And it is so incredibly obvious that if you are an absolute oblivious moron who knows nothing about your own country or the political or the government that runs it, then you shouldn't have any say over it.
Okay, so I disagree with this take entirely. Because here's the thing, even the most oblivious person completely on the internet, that person is still affected by the laws that are going to be written down as executive orders from presidents, that are going to be written down and penned by our House of Representatives, by our Senate, the most ignorant person in the world. So yes, even Matt Walsh is affected by the laws that come out from this country. You know, just saying, it's as important for everybody to be able to vote. Because here's the thing, you start getting into the question now of why certain people shouldn't be allowed to vote. Matt Walsh wants to put like, oh, well, certain people don't know certain things about the country. Okay, cool. I don't need to know everything about my country's history. I don't need to know the different names of different political figures in the country. I don't need to know the political state of the world I live in to understand that I want health care. And it's better for me to have health care than than for me to not have health care. I don't need to have a massive amount of political understanding in order to understand that there are things that I like, that I want to have legally given to me, legally granted to me in the country I live in, that I pay taxes in. I don't need to know that, you know, the various presidents were responsible for X, Y, and Z in order for me to want my money to go to schools, in order for me to want my money that I put into taxes to go to roads. I don't need to know all that shit. I don't. I do, personally, because I talk about politics on my channel as a job. But the average person doesn't need to be so politically invested in order to understand at a very, very base level that, hey, some of these laws apply to me. Maybe I want them to operate a certain way. Yes, I do believe that more and more people should be politically active, should be politically involved, should be politically cogent, but I don't believe that you should punish people for, in many cases, validly wanting, or just by circumstance not knowing about the political sphere that they're in. I don't think you should punish those people by not letting them vote. And how would you determine that those people could or could not vote? Would you have like an aptitude test every time? Because then we have the question of who's gonna write the test? Who's gonna make the test? Who's going to be the person, who's going to be the people that decide which arbitrary measures we are going to have that allow people to vote in this country? Who's going to be the one grading that fucking test? Razor Storm says, Starship Trooper style. Ah, yes. We'll just have everybody join the military, and they've got to risk their lives, or they're not allowed to vote. You need to risk your life for this country before you can have a say in whether this country should be under fascism or not. That... Okay. Okay. Sure. Why not, Matt? Why not? I don't... Here's the thing. We already have some arbitrary rules over who can and can't vote. There are felons who are not able to vote, irregardless of what caused them to become a felon. There are children who are not able to vote because they have to hit an arbitrary age where we deem that they at least had the capacity to be smart enough to vote, right? We already have these arbitrary rules and laws and all the shit. We already have that. What is the benefit of extending that? Here's the thing. I think Matt Walsh understands at a base level that his position is stupid. But he also understands that there's a pretty common rule when it comes to progressive tendencies. There's a lot of stuff we understand about how progressive policies work. And one of those things are that progressive policies, 9 times out of 10, are more popular than regressive ones or even conservative ones. Things like abortion have an over 65% rate of people who approve of it in the United States, regardless of how divided people want to pretend the states really are on this. It's not a 50-50 issue. It only becomes a 50-50 issue when you start gerrymandering districts to make it seem like there's equal cut-throughs. You only gerrymander when you are scared that you can't win the popular vote without that extra help. It's impossible. It's impossible to believe that Matt Walsh is so naive that he thinks that this would be a good idea for the sake of democracy. Matt Walsh is paid for by conservative think tanks. He wants a world where fewer people can vote because a world where fewer people can vote is naturally a world where progressive policies don't perform as well. That's what we've seen historically in the United States. The more people turn out to vote, the more often progressive policies win and progressive candidates win. Period. Flat out. That's the reality Matt Walsh is trying to avoid. The reality he's trying to avoid is the reality where more people turn out to vote, where more people's voices are heard. Because that world is one where his opinions go to fester and die. And that makes him deeply, deeply uncomfortable. Or at the very least, it makes the people who pay for him deeply, deeply uncomfortable. He's a theocratic monarchist and a fascist. He's a theocratic fascist. He says so himself. There's at least that. Said he's afraid of change. Change bad, new thing bad, old thing good. Old thing racist, old thing good. That's Matt Walsh. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That's my take on this, and maybe I'm completely off base here, but let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, y'all, insert into video tagline here. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I want to go ahead and thank all the wonderful fan artists who submit. Holy crap, that is amazing. This one is from Shoutout. Started this prior to the male model drop. Gonna have to draw them both now. I want to turn this into a playmat. Shoutout, can I turn this into a playmat? I'm DMing you. I want to turn it into a playmat. This next one is from Mathematical Cabbage. Insert gay artist noises here. And the final one is from Kitterdoodle. Hello, fan art. I promise I'm not dead yet. I return bearing my worst creation, Butter Churn Suris. As always, everyone, thanks to you for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown, you know it has to go to the Discord. Let's go ahead and run into the credits, and thank you again. Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.